The 100-kilometre Mandela Marathon underway in the Eastern Cape has been reduced by about 8 kilometres. This after reports that organisers and athletes were denied entry at Mvezo Great Place. This means the race will no longer finish at Mandela's birthplace, Mvezo, as planned. Our reporter Zimkhitha updates us on the latest.
We are now at Mvezo village where Nelson Mandela was born in 1918 on that 18th of July. This is where the 100-kilometre race is supposed to end this afternoon. But there are developments that it cannot end at the Mvezo Great Place because they will not be allowed to enter the premises of that yard, even though there were initial arrangements for the athletes and the organisers to finish the race at that particular place. But now we're going to speak to the OR Tambo spokesperson, Mvezo, who's going to shed some light to these new developments, because a lot of people were excited that they were able to go to Clackberry where Madiba studied, and then right through to Mqhekezweni where he grew up, and to Qunu where he spent most of his life after he came back from prison. And now they were going to finalize the race by coming here where he was born in 1918, but it looks like it's not going to be the case. As you can see behind me, the team is setting up in the middle of nowhere in their attempts of trying to create a new space where the athletes will be given the venue for finalizing their race. Mr. Lungisa, people were told that they will end the race at the Mvezo Great Place, but now we are seeing that your team is setting up in the middle of nowhere. What's happening?
Yes, I can confirm that we have kept a consistent communication that the race is a 100-kilometre race starting from Clackberry, where I can indicate that the villagers and people in general were very happy when we started at 4 a.m. And the runners themselves, who in essence would have proposed the race, they are still very happy. We are in Mvezo now. It's just a question that we are unable to access the yard because there is construction that is taking place. But as for Mvezo, we are here in the Mvezo village where Mandela was born. Mandela has always indicated that he was not only the son of his family, he was a son of all the South Africans. He then later became the father and the great-father of all and the grandfather of all South Africans. That's why we're not bothered that was here, because we have been given explanation by the family that there is construction that is taking place. They are preparing for the 18th. Therefore, there's nothing that we take as sinister. There's no blood, there's no bad blood between the institution and Mr. Mandela, who is Mandla. In actual fact, as the institution OR Tambo recently, we have won an award as the institution that takes care of traditional leaders. We therefore don't think that there could be any thing bad about us being here, but just an honest proposal from the family that we allow them to finish all the preparations towards the 18th of July, when Madiba, if he was still alive, would be turning 100 years.
Who are you speaking to in the family? Because I just spoke to Mr. Mandela, Chief Swelivelile, moments ago, and he says he has no knowledge about this particular race. He is not part of it, and he was never engaged about it. The only thing he knows about is the celebrations that are taking place on the 18th of July, that he is at the forefront of organizing. And even now, he's on his way from East London to fetch some of the family members. Of
course, there are protocols in engaging with the traditional leadership. The same approach was used when we were speaking to Inkosi Zwelivelile. We spoke to people who would speak to him, and they had given us assurance that there was an agreement that we could use the family home to hand over medals, which is why we had identified that area, because it has had a lot of amenities, which by now we're told they are just under revamping because they are preparing for the 18th.
In the previous sites, like in Clackberry and Mqhekezweni and Qunu, there were medals that were supposed to be given to people, or were given already. Who did you give the medal here at Mvezo?
We were giving medals after we had passed by each traditional authority or a place where we felt it was important in the upbringing of Tata Mandela. And we will still give the medal to Mr. Mandela because he deserves that medal, or rather the family deserves that medal. But as for now, the runners are still coming. We only give the medal when the runners have touched that place. The runners will touch the family of Mr. Mandela here at Mvezo, and as such, he will receive that medal.
Thank you very much for your time. Well, there was the OR Tambo spokesperson, Mvezo Lungisa, giving us some clarity about some misconfusion, about some confusion that people will not be allowed to actually finish the race at the Mvezo Great Place. But preparations are also underway for the big celebrations that are expected to take place here on the 18th of July. A lot of international and local leaders have confirmed that they will attend the event on the 18th, and also former heads of state are also coming here, including the president of the country, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. He is expected to be the keynote speaker of that event on the 18th of July.